What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Monday night R3 Mount Stackmore cast. It is myself, Silver Seeker, along with this beautiful man to my right, Rob Finds Treasure. What's going on, sir?
How's it going, everyone? Good to be here yet again on another Monday and the last show before the show.
The last one. And then below, we have someone even more beautiful. Give it up for the amazing Ravenhawk Guns. I mean, Ravenhawk Coins.
Don't make me bring out the left or the right gun. Oh, guys, it's going to be awesome. Literally only, 9 days away from the night before the show. And I'm going to be there on the 11th, the night of the 11th. Super excited to be able to meet a lot of people. Matter of fact, last couple streams, a lot of people saying they are coming to the show. People, it's just surprising. You know, Resin Dragon's going to be there. Teacher 1388. I think Link is going there. You guys, Coin Crew, Mid-America. The list goes on and on. It's going to be awesome.
I can't wait, guys. It's going to be a blast. So if you guys are new here, you don't know how this works, you probably do, because I think most of the people that are in this early have been to these before. But for the next hour, me, Rob, and Raven are going to be talking, answering questions. You guys can feel free to answer questions in the chat. I will do my best to, I will do my best to get to as many questions as possible. Of course, we will always prioritize super chats, so feel free to do that if you want to, but it's not necessary. We will absolutely try and touch on every question that we see. But if it gets very busy, if there's a lot of people here, there may be some we miss. So if we miss it, write it down and keep it for the next time we do one of these in a couple of weeks. And what is our next one? On Rob's channel? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it on mine again already?
Yeah, it should be on yours next because we did Raven. Yeah, so it'll be on yours next.
Yeah, and mine will be the week after the show.
Right. Yeah, yours will be the week after the show. Plus, while we're in Grove, by the way, there will be so Mike had actually set up like a room off to the side where like YouTubers can go and interview people where it's really quiet so that you're not in the like noisy part of the show. If you wanted to, if we wanted to sit down and do something, just us three, we could go in there, set up the camera. It'd be a lot of fun. So I tell you what, if you guys can't make the show, one thing I keep telling people, there's going to be an absolute ton of videos coming out of the show because there's going to be so many YouTubers there. So they're all going to have cameras. They're all going to be having fun. You know what I found out, and I don't know if I told you guys this, Rob and Raven, I don't know if the chat has said anything, but you know that some coin dealers, I was talking to Mike from Mid-America Coins, and he said there were some coin dealers, specifically a couple from Texas, that backed out of the coin show because of all the YouTubers going. They thought it was going to be a clown show.
Really?
Seriously. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like they're giving, we're bringing them, the chance at new customers. Like, why would you back out of that? Doesn't make any sense.
A clown show. Crazy. You know what?
Yeah.
Maybe we can show up with red noses and Ronald McDonald hair. We should just do it.
It's going to be a blast.
Big old walk in with big old shoes and be like, who said this is a clown show?
I mean, I think they're making a mistake. That's crazy. There's going to be so many people there that, a lot of people that don't even normally go to coin shows. I mean, it's a great opportunity to introduce yourself to a new crowd. So that seems silly to me, but, whatever.
Yeah.
To each his own. I mean, there's another crazy one going around. I saw people saying to do a silver raid on the 15th. And I'm just like, nah, not touching that.
There are people that are into the silver raids, but I'm not a big fan of them. I mean, that's what pushed up the premiums in the first place when the February of last year with the whole silver squeeze thing. I mean, I'm not interested in that. And honestly, not even if you don't look at the premiums, this is what gets me about things like that. It's like you're not buying silver for what I consider to be a good reason to buy silver. You're buying it just to try and squeeze a price out. That's not good for your stack. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're spending money that you wouldn't normally spend just to be part of this. I don't know. It's just not something I think is a good idea, but
If there's anything that's a good idea, it's all the paper silver carriers should demand their silver and physical.
Yeah.
If you want to drive the price up properly, then tell everyone to go ahead and say, you know what, I'd rather get this paper traded in for a physical.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have a question here. Edward Lee says, do coin show dealers ever straight swap gold for silver? No. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I can't speak for every coin dealer in the world, but whenever they're doing any transaction, they need to be able to turn a profit on the transaction. So generally, they won't do it straight up. Now, they might cut you a deal, but doing it straight up without them being able to benefit from it, there's no profit into it. And so for that reason, they probably, again, I can't speak for everyone, but generally, no.
Yeah, and the one time I trudged in that kind of water is I had a duplicate $5 Liberty gold dollar that I didn't need, and it was obviously clean, and I knew it was going to get a lot of money. And there was a guy who had a couple of CCs that were in rougher shape for my book, and I asked him if he'd swap it because the gray sheets for everything was about equal, and he did. But again, he got gold, I got silver, so that might have played a little part too.
Right. Sam Wilson says, what time will the doors open on the last day of the show? So he's talking about Saturday the 14th. They will open at 9 a.m. But what I will tell you about the Grove show, along with a lot of coin shows, it's not just specifically Grove, but a lot of coin shows at last day, you usually want to get there right at 9 because a lot of dealers start cutting out around 11, 12 o'clock. They're ready to go home. So it's also a good day to shop the show that last day because if they brought anything in bulk with them that they want to get rid of, they may give you a little bit of a deal so they don't have to haul it back. Guys, we do have a $5 super chat. Kyle says, I've had dealers I've sold to that have given me more for the product to do in store trade versus cash. So yes, some do. There you go. Like I said, I can't speak for every coin dealer. So Kyle has an experience that is different than mine. That's awesome. That's why I said I can't speak for everyone because I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But in my experience, no. But apparently not in everybody's. Thank you, by the way, for the super chat, Kyle. You were awesome. I appreciate the awesome support. Thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, Nick Phillips says, I don't think my coin shop is a fan. I'm not a big fan of TikTok either. Like I've seen some of the coin channels on TikTok and, they got a lot of followers, but TikTok is a different beast. It's not something I'm really interested in. I prefer videos that are well thought out, edited so that the information is presented in a proper way. I'm not a big fan of the quick 15, 30, 45 second, hey, look at this dollar. It could be worth $50,000. And then, the truth is you don't get all the information and it's not anything like, like I actually saw a TikTok from a TikToker that was talking about the dollar bill, the Star Note dollar bills that were printed with the same serial numbers, Rob, at two different mints, remember?
Yeah,
and he made it sound like if you had any of those.
Yeah, it's the 2013 B series. They were printed in Washington, D.C. and Dallas-Fort Worth. He made it. He literally in his TikTok made it sound like if you had one of those, that it was you had 10 grand in your pocket or something like that. Well, and you could have two of those and have 10 grand in your pocket, but the chance of you marrying bills 9 years into circulation that were not even discovered until like 4 years ago, and some have already been taken out, and the fact that they've been segregated and moved all over the nation, and they don't exactly know how many of them were duplicated. They just know the runs that had duplicated printed numbers. So there's only been if I recall, there's only been 2 graded matching sets, and there's only been 7 other matching not graded. And that's unmatched sets as far as Seeker has one and I have one, and we don't even know it yet. That's right. So good luck. Now, doesn't mean you shouldn't keep them and hold on to it and check eBay every week for your serial numbers and see if someone's selling one. Because if you could buy one on eBay for $5 or $10 and match it to one of yours, you're sitting pretty golden if you could. Absolutely. Silver Bear wants to say hi to all of us. How you guys doing? I heard there's a clown show also happening in Grove this year. Guys, we haven't heard much from Raven yet, so the next question I find, we're going to let Raven answer. Here, PA Coin Roller asked this to me, but I want Raven to respond first.
What is Seeker's oldest coin?
No. What is your oldest coin, Raven?
Oh, man. You know what? I honestly don't know at this moment. So I used to know. I have an ancient one in there that's from like 326 BC or something. Or no, AD. I don't know why I say BC. AD. But for like, American coins, somewhere in the 1800s. So I was actually asked this question on my last live stream, and I had answered I have a 1798 Large Eagle VF PCGS certified silver dollar. But I forgot
that I also have a 1794 large cent, but it has details. It's obverse rim filed. So that is actually my oldest U.S. coin. I do have Widow's Mites though, which are much, much older, of course.
Yeah, I've got a Widow's Mite as well, but I think I was just looking at it. My oldest large cent is a 1798. I don't have the 1793 or 94 yet. Nope, I'm sorry. I do have a 1795.
Gotcha.
1795.
I have some British coins from the 1700s, like 1774 was the oldest one I had for foreigns. 2 years older than the Constitution, which now I remember. It took me a second. And the thing is we were talking about this earlier, guys. I've been buying a lot of stuff lately, just like you guys do. And some stuff is for my deep stack. Some stuff is to go for auction or trades and whatnot. And honestly, after a while, at least I end up forgetting some of the stuff I have, which is, that's why I'm glad I have an Excel spreadsheet that I keep everything on, because without that, I'd be in trouble.
Yep. Sorry about that, guys. Someone was at my front door. I want to make sure it was just someone we knew. Scott S. And guys, I'm already getting buried on questions, so I will try and get to them as quick as possible. I'm just going through them in order until I have to skip to forward for something. But Scott S. says, my LCS wants 235 for a tube of 25 proof silver quarters, all from various dated silver proof sets. I don't know the dates, but is that a good price? What is that, like $9.50 a quarter, roughly?
Yeah, roughly, I answered it personally. I said if they're BU and they're in great shape, it's not a bad price. It's good. It's not great. I mean, you got to understand that you're not going to pay melt for silver BU proof quarters generally. Not even anywhere. Not typically. Maybe in some places you might get lucky, but typically you wouldn't.
Yep. Sue Hatton says, and guys, give it out to Sue Hatton. Love Sue Hatton. Sue, I hope you're at the show this year, by the way. I got to meet her last year. Such a great lady. She says, I talked to a friend of mine out of spending $100,000 from buying paper silver and gold. Took me weeks to convince her. If you can't hold it, you don't own it. Finally, she listened. I love hearing it. I don't even have to add anything to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great job.
Yeah, don't buy paper. No paper silver, no paper gold. You got a couple questions asking about how the premiums are jumping up, and I wanted to touch on that with a local shop there's one shop that I don't deal with very often. It's because this guy is so greedy in that sense, where silver's now at 22 something, and he's raised his premium on 10-ounce bars to like $8 an ounce, so he can still be at 290 something a bar. When it's like, how does that make sense that you just keep squeezing dollars out of everybody, and he's like, well, silver should be at $50 an ounce. That's what I think. And I said, it's not there. It's not there. It's not at 35. It's not at 30, but you're trying to charge 30 an ounce. I mean, come on, man. So I basically signed the guy off. Now I'm not going back to him ever again.
The short-sightedness in shops that they make money when silver jumps by what they have in stock, and they lose the money sometimes when silver drops. And the ones that try to over-manage the peaks and valleys are the ones that sit on inventory, don't sell product, don't turn product, turn customers away, turn customers off, and go out of business before the other guys do. And again, I've never been a silver shop dealer, but I've dealt with so many shops, and I've heard all of their side takes on it, and not one that has done well for years has ever done what you just described, great, in my opinion.
Yeah, matter of fact, I had told one of my really good coin shop buddies this scenario, and he literally was like, said the same thing. He goes, well, silver's not at that price, and the fact that he keeps jumping up the prices like that makes no sense, because the guy that's my buddy has silver at 18.5 face right now. The same guy that I was talking about has his still at 24 times face.
18.5?
Yeah.
That's wow, dude. You can't find that anywhere. That's not even really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's
he was at 19.2, then he dropped it down to 18.5.
Man, that's a good deal. Like I've never seen it. I can't say never. I haven't seen it that low in a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd be backing the truck up for that. That's insane.
And he's literally, that's what he's telling anybody that comes in. Joe and Harry coming off the street. He's literally, he was said 19.2. I went back there the next day because I needed a couple things, and he was down to 18.5. I was like, man, I want to buy some right now, but I'm going to wait a day or two. So
well, I will tell you this. I know that at that price, he cannot replace it. So he is literally just selling inventory. He's not interested in rebuying.
I know why. He got a guy that came in and it sold him literally $500 or so in face. And, I don't think he really just wants to keep sitting on it is why.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like when he's selling that low, he's selling silver he has no intent on replacing. So, I mean, coin shops don't necessarily lose. The only time a coin shop really loses is two scenarios. One, they close down and then they have to sell for less than what they had in it. And then two, let's say someone sells them a ton of silver and they go above what they like to keep their inventory level at, and then silver drops before they sell enough of it to get back to standard inventory level. Because if they're within their standard inventory level, let's say they want to keep their standard inventory level at 2,000 ounces on hand. Well, if they sell 500 ounces in a day, they just replace it that same day. So even if they bought that 500 ounces of silver at $500 an ounce, and then silver drops to 20 and they sell it at 23 or 24 or whatever it is with premium, but then they go out and buy it from the wholesaler at 22.
Tornado alarms are going off again.
Oops. But if they sell it at 24 and then they still go back out and buy it at 22, now they have $2 an ounce they made. They still have the 2,000 ounces of silver. So the only time they really lose is going out of business and selling at a loss, or selling or buying above their standard inventory level and then selling it at a price lower than that because it dropped before I had a chance to move it. But right, Sergeant T says his LCS is still 16 times. That is below melt. Man, I would buy everything he had for 16 times.
Yeah, I just talked to my guy and he was like, I got to be at 20, Rob. That's what I got. And I was like, and I was going to buy a lot, but I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to hold off for now. I don't need it. But it was a pretty good price on what I've been paying recently. And I almost got it at 20 times, to be honest. If I had someone at 16, I would tell the wife that we need to go and pull some money out of savings and I would stack it for sure.
Yep. This question's been on the screen. It's J Love the Flesh is, should I expect pretty good deals at the show, lower premiums? Sometimes. I mean, the dealers obviously still have to make money and they're paying, whereas if they have a shop where their rent's like $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month or whatever it is, you go to a coin show and the tables are $150 a table for 2 days and they have 2-3 tables. They're essentially paying $450, to be at the coin show for 2 days, plus room and board, plus driving to the show. So they have a significant, percentage-wise, a significant greater overhead than they do in their shop. So they can't sell it at a crazy low rate where you get a monster deal. But at the same time, there's still, 100 coin dealers there. And so they have to compete. Otherwise, they're not going to sell anything. So, yes, you can get deals, but it's not going to be something that's going to blow it out of the park.
And typically the deals you're going to get is when you package things like with anything together. If you walk there and just want to get a 14D Buffalo nickel, you're probably going to pay up on it. It's pretty nice. But if you end up with a list of Buffalo nickels you're looking for, and let's say there's 9 or 10 of them, they'll probably make you a package deal on all of them so they can move inventory all at once. And so they're still in the green and you're still happy.
Right. Evil Cowboy, go ahead.
That reminds me. Don't make the cardinal sin if you're new to going to shows and you do have a little jingle in your pocket and you do want to invest in getting collectible coins, for example. Maybe you're just going there to stack silver and gold and you don't need this. But if you're going there, do yourself a favor and have some kind of digital record of the coins that you're looking for, the coins you want to upgrade, or maybe even write down a list of your hit list of coins you want to go try to get, because 9 times out of 10, if you don't know exactly the missing slots in your albums and you go there, you might end up buying 2 or 3 coins you didn't need and you could have had other coins. So just keep that in mind as you prepare for the show. If you're going there as a collector, kind of have an idea of what you need. And that's why I like digital online albums if it's possible.
I just saw a super chat and I'll get to it in a minute, but this one's already on the screen, so I want to touch on it. And I know there's a ton of people asking questions that we haven't gotten to. I apologize. But like I said, we will prioritize super chat, so I will get to that next. Evil Cowboy says, Silver Seeker, it seems like the older gen is against raids, but the younger gen wants them. Would you agree with that? I haven't really looked at it from an age range category, but if that was the case, I would understand why. It's because the older generation realizes that, we're probably not going to be able to manipulate the actual spot price by buying physical silver. And so they hate seeing the premiums go up as a result of the raids. Whereas the young ones would probably still believe that that's possible. I don't think it's possible. And yes, I did spill water on my shirt. Don't make fun of me. What do you think, Robin Raven?
I think it's a matter of also fear of missing out of what the crowd is doing. A lot of people don't truly understand the nature of silver stacking being a long-term investment, and that you're wanting to continually grow your stack so that, down the road, when it gets to a point that you're happy with, you then make moves. You can buy on the dips and whatnot and do well, but when you have a concentrated raid and you're making a false run on a market, you're going to cause some problems. Premiums are going to go up, and then the people that got into it that don't know what they're doing, they're going to get mad because they're stuck with a bunch of silver that they probably wouldn't have bought at that price,
Right.
And they've just been lucky that, wow, that is loud. Really lucky that silver's at a low right now, but to me, it's really setting a bad message to new collectors and stackers.
So Kyle with the 5 says, "Hey Ravenhawk Coins, you okay, bud? I pray you can get the shelter in time if needed." And I second that sentiment, man. If you need to go, everyone here totally understands. Stay safe because we want to see you at the show.
I'm looking out the window. I don't hear the alarm going anymore, but it's continual lightning and some pretty intense thunder.
The problem with that, though, Raven, as long as you have visibility, maybe you could take a chance. Not that I want you to, but if the rain is thick, you can't see stuff coming.
Right.
Yeah. No,
Tim Gibson says, "I don't think raids raise premiums." Tim, the only reason I don't agree with that is because that's exactly what happened February 1st.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is February 1st was the beginning of the massive raids. And I have verifiable proof of that because I bought a monster box of 2021 Eagles right before February 1st, and I paid $275 over spot for them. And good luck finding that now or even a month after that raid happened. It hasn't been anywhere close since. So, yeah, it definitely, or it was $275, not $220. $275, my apologies, but still, it was it was under $3 an ounce over spot.
Yeah, and it hasn't recovered since, and it's been ridiculous. Right. I mean, come on, look at the premium on Silver Eagles alone. I mean, $14, $15 in some instances, and and they're using a computer program that just slides the number. Price goes down, premium goes up.
Right.
It's price fixing.
And raids and things like that. Think of it this way: a lot of long-term stackers enjoy organic silver growth. We know there's going to be dips. We know there's going to be some peaks, but the peaks and the dips are pretty close together. When you have a spike, think about the negative sentiment on some precious metals. It's almost like the digital currency became the new hip thing once all this happened before. And now look at digital currency. If it's not organic, it's not going to stay. And so it's got to be organic growth and sustained organic growth the right way, like Seeker's always talked about on his channel, and I firmly agree with them. If it's done any other way, then we're going to have these big dips, and we're going to have, every time you make money on something, somebody else lost money on something, and so it can become bad for the economy and bad for long-term stackers if there's a short-term spike that throws everything out of whack. Premiums have not even been anywhere near like they used to be since that February jump. Yep. If you think about it, now that's the new norm, because that's the new norm, and that's not the good way to stack, and that's not the way I like to buy silver.
Right. And that's what's pushed me to focus more on numismatic stuff and alternatives to bullion as of late. I've done a couple of videos recently where I've said, okay, here's what I bought because of these weird spikes and premiums and stuff, for my personal stuff. I still have to buy things for my show and whatnot, but when I'm looking at it at a personal aspect, I'm like, it doesn't make sense to pay that $15 spot jump on one silver item when I can get something else that's a little bit less and will hold better value and actually increase in value over time in the way of numismatic silver.
Right. Robin M asks, what is the best way to buy a bag of constitutional silver? A mixed bag of halves, quarters, and dimes at face value? You know what? I've been answering a lot. I'll let Rob and Raven at this one.
I'll kick it off because I do it a lot. Typically $50. Depends on your area, depends on the dealer's supply, depends on a lot of factors. But typically, historically for me, $50 have a little bit more time space they ask for than anything else. So if I can get quarters and dimes at a lower rate, and I'm just stacking, those are great to stack. Dimes and quarters, they're very smaller increments of silver. They're very easily recognizable. They're nice to add to your safe or add wherever you need to put them. And you never know if you're going to get a better date, a semi-key date, or any kind of variety. Typically, if I'm going to buy it and it's not for my streams, like I used to buy a bunch of $half for, I would prefer to stack quarters and dimes, and I usually get a little better price. If there's no difference in the price whatsoever, then it doesn't matter what the denomination is. In my opinion, I'm going to grab whatever they got and buy them out of that denomination if I can afford it. Because if I can buy them out, or if they've said recently, "Oh yeah, I picked up $100 face and $half. Are you interested?" And if they just got it, I like to buy it fast. That way they haven't gone through it and maybe even look for anything and cherry pick it so I can. But that's my 10 cents.
Fair enough.
And Rob nailed it. Halves are normally traditionally a little bit higher than the rest. And he hit every spot, so I really can't add much to it.
There you go. Next up, we have Frank Mons. He says the physical market needs to quit looking at the paper market as a baseline. I think supply and demand should be the only driver of price. As much as I like to agree with that, it's going to be almost impossible to do because it would be like the Wild West. How do you know what to even begin at when you walk into a coin shop? If there's not even a spot price to look at. There has to be a system to replace it, and I think without a system to replace it, it's never going to happen. So, Brian Channon says, Silver Seeker, I had friends who purchased in 2012 against my advice at 40 an ounce, and that totally turned them off since then. Oof. 2012 was not a good year for silver. I did 6-9 months ago, maybe 12. I don't know. I did a whole video, a huge video with all sorts of Excel spreadsheets that I put together myself talking about inflation versus silver. And it showed that every year, silver still gained on inflation, or at least kept up with it, except for 2012. So, if you had people that got into silver in 2012,
that's like the people that got into Bitcoin last year.
Right. Yeah.
It's gonna push. It's gonna go to the moon to 200,000. Well, if you bought it at 65, you're probably pretty sad today at 38.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bitcoin, I actually had a question about Bitcoin. Trump 2020 says some people think that Bitcoin is the new gold. Thought, Silver Seeker? I do not. I think anyone that watches my channel for any decent amount of time knows I am not a crypto person at all. I'm not a big fan of it whatsoever. So I'm going to let Rob, who does, I believe, buys a little bit of crypto. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to let Rob answer this.
I buy crypto every single week. I do dollar cost average. I have set amounts that I buy of certain, not just Bitcoin, but the altcoins as well. Ones that I have interest in or I think that they might do something a little bit in. But at the end of the day, is it the new gold? No way. Is it the new gold? No way. Is it the new gold to the new generation? Maybe. But at the end of the day, mining costs for digital coins like Bitcoin, we have no answer for right now. Matter of fact, there's a lot of countries that are banning mining of Bitcoin right now because it's putting their grids under stress. So at the end of the day, is it the new gold? Not in my opinion, but it is one of those sexy new things that maybe I could make some money on. But I'm a long-term stacker in general, which is why I do dollar cost averaging for crypto. I could never be somebody that's buying it today, hoping that in 6 months I could go around and sell it and make a bunch of money. That's not how I invest in things. So if you're that kind of person, probably need to talk to a financial advisor because I couldn't get advice on that.
There you go. I'm guessing Raven has nothing to chime in on that.
With Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, a lot of the things I see is the people that are jumping on the bandwagon late is because, again, it's a fear of missing out. And if you don't do your research and you're not educated in what you're doing, you can lose your rear end really, really fast. But the smart thing to do is watch some of the very good crypto analysts, see what they're saying, see what's going on with the trends. And if you can follow it just like you can follow the stock market, then you should be okay. But you really need to do the research first. If you don't do research and you just run out there and buy it just because, this other guy bought it, then you're gonna be one of those people that are really upset when it's over.
Yep. Fran says, would you guys support a regulation that coin/bullion dealers must buy at spot? I would not. And I'll tell you why. Because up until this, recent, since February of last year, I mean, depending on the day, you could walk into a coin shop and buy silver rounds for 75 cents to $1.50 over spot. So if they're buying at spot and only selling for $1 over spot, there's no money for them to be made. If it drops a little bit at all, they lose. So in a situation, and by the way, the reason that the premiums were so far down back then is because there wasn't a absolute ton of demand for it. So if we ever get back into a situation where the demand's really low, there's no way for the shops to make a living having to buy it at spot when at best they can get $1 over for it. So that's the reason I wouldn't do it. The most important thing to do, France, and I preach this on my channel in probably 1,000 videos. I mean, probably exaggerating there, but is just to be educated. Like the people that are taken advantage of are always the ones that walk into a coin shop and they're going to trust the first person they talk to and they have no idea what the heck they're doing. And that is absolutely where people are unfortunately going to get taken advantage of. So what I would tell anybody is just to do a little bit of research. It doesn't take long to research, to shop around. If you walk into a coin shop and tell them that you're going to a couple of different places to get the best price, they're automatically going to pay you more because they want to buy it from you instead of them buying it from you, because that's how they make their money. A little bit of education is really all anyone needs, honestly.
You got a membership shout out.
Silver Swanner says, please make Mount Stack more slabs. Silver Swanner, we will probably talk all about that when we're three together at the show. Who knows what we're going to do. But the stickers, by the way, are huge. Look at that compared to a 1 ounce copper round, how big those stickers are. I'm excited about those.
Very nice.
Yeah. I'm going to slap one of those on everything. Local coin shop.
Mr. Clad says, Silver Seeker, you know how many people were at Grove last year? A lot. I think I met well over 100 people. What about you, Rob?
No, I would say probably 100 over the 3 days. I think at one point we had over 50 people around us, 50 different channels and or just people from the community. So if I think about that and then think about the 3 days, we probably had over 100. I think it might be a good idea if I can get Charlani to create maybe a guest log that everyone can sign. So at the end, maybe we could do a video and thanking everyone we met who signed the log, so we know all the people that were there and we met. Because I hate to say it, but after 3 days of last year of meeting everyone, I can't remember every single person I met. But if I saw them again this year, I'd be like, yeah, I remember that I met you for sure.
Right. For sure. Raven wasn't there last year, but I think Raven's going to have a blast this year.
Is there good security there? Well, last year there was armed guards everywhere.
Last year, I guarantee you half the dealers were carrying. I actually was carrying the whole show. So
yeah, and I will tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, if you're coming out of state into Oklahoma, realize that a lot of people have concealed carry here. Yeah. And I carry a 40 cal on my hip day and night. So, it's one of those things where people know that you're involved with doing numismatic silver and gold and stuff. You're kind of a target. So that's
I'm not carrying cases out to my car without my Beretta in my pocket. That's not going to happen.
Yep.
Right. Dumb King wants to know why we were talking about Bitcoin. Dumb King, it's because the question was asked, is it the new gold, which is what we cover on this channel. So it was a very valid and within the scope of this stream tonight. That's why we were talking about it.
So Dad Learning Coins is asking, are we allowed to carry at the show? Well, Oklahoma is a constitutional carry state. You're allowed to carry a gun.
So,
but I don't know about the show itself. A lot of shows don't allow that kind of stuff.
Here's what I'll tell you. I don't believe that it is going to be advertised as being allowed to carry, but it's also not, no one's going to tell you that you can't either.
Yeah, so, I was going to say, you probably, I wouldn't walk in with it strapped to my hip and flaunting it, but no one's going to check you and say you can't carry it in Oklahoma, but be smart about it.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that's the thing. And people here, they're very respectful. If you have a gun, that's one thing. Don't be brandishing your weapon.
Yeah, don't be there's no need to.
Nope. That's about as irresponsible as it gets for a gun owner.
And by the way, there are going to, like last year, there's going to be armed guards everywhere. And if for some reason you don't feel comfortable walking out, I'm sure somebody would escort you. So you don't need to bring your piece if you don't need to. I mean, I would imagine you wouldn't need to.
Right. All right. Here we go. Don asked, do kangaroos, cougs, and Philharmonics have security features? Kangaroos do for sure. I'm pretty sure Philharmonics and Krugs do as well, but I don't know exactly what they are.
Yeah,
but I know kangaroos do.
You know,
go ahead.
I just lost my train of thought. It's okay. Go ahead.
It's all right.
I think Philharmonics and kangaroos, but I don't know about Krugs personally at all.
So teacher said, I asked Mike, and he said that the police will be there, and a civic center does not allow guns in it. All right, so I'll tell you this. No one knew I had it last year. I guess you know now. I won't carry this year, though, guys. I promise. Just so you know.
Yep.
Don't turn me in. Anyway, next up.
There's like 30 people calling. Guys, we got Silver Seeker over here. You might want to check him out.
Yeah, no, they might be saying that anyway, Raven. So
there's this creepy guy
here.
Hey,
somebody asked if we're going to be selling the Mount Stackmore stickers on Cool Stacks or not.
So whatever we have left of those stickers after the show, the three of us are going to divvy up. What we're going to do with them at that point, don't know. We will let you know, but we will each have an equal amount of stickers because we bought 1,000 of them.
We bought 1,000 of them. We're all going to sign them at the show. We're all going to probably sign even our surplus ones that we don't sell so that we can have them for each other.
Like these are all stickers. Woo! There's a ton. So
that's going to be fun.
We will definitely be divvying them up after the show's over. So we all three have them.
How many tables does that show expected to have this year? Does Mike have a count?
He said it was north of 150 last I checked, but again, like I said at the beginning of the stream, he had a couple of dealers back out, including one dealer that had like 5 or 6 tables because he thought it was going to be a clown show because of all the YouTubers. But I think he's wrong. I think that guy's making a mistake. He's had the opportunity to be introduced to a ton of new potential customers, so that seems like a bad idea. I will be bringing lots of Sharpies, by the way.
Cool.
I have plenty.
Yeah, we're going to be like this after we sign everything. I can't sign another sticker.
I have plenty. A couple of years ago, one of my subscribers sent me a care package, and literally there were like 350 brand new, still in the packaging Sharpies in it.
I had a subscriber send me some packs.
I think he worked at a Sharpie factory or something.
Down.
Yeah, I had the same thing happening. Scott Jarvie sent me an insane amount of markers. I'll have markers till I'm like 70.
Spot price prediction for the Grove Show. You know we don't predict spot prices here. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't try and predict spot price anymore. I don't know. You guys want to take a stab at it? $50 an ounce.
It'll be somewhere between $21.50 and $24.
Do they do name tags? You can put your YouTube. I will have a badge that says Silver Seeker, like I did last year. Rob said Rob finds treasure. Ravens will say Ravenhawk coins.
You know what? Do we have extra name badges that we can have there? People can just fill out and stick on the shirts if they wanted to, Seeker.
I have no idea. You'd have to ask Mike about that.
I might ask online to pick up some extra name badges and just put them at our table.
Tyler Tro, unfortunately, there's not enough time left to get a shirt ordered and pressed and ready for the show. That's why we had to cut off pre-orders last week. So we will have. So here's the deal: we are going to have shirts at the show. What we still have left over after the show, we're going to sign every single one of them, and they will be available. First come, first serve until they're gone. So we're going to take 50 or 60 with us for the tables. And as soon as whatever we have left, we'll bring back, and they'll be available. They'll already be signed, and once they're gone, they'll be gone. But unfortunately, there's no more pre-orders on them because again, there's just not enough time. By the time I place the order, by the time I get here, I'll be leaving for the show. Because I'm leaving next Tuesday.
A M4A master, he made an awesome 5-ounce bar. Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me, M4A. So you guys talk for a second.
Hold on. Share that, right?
Yeah, yes. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm so glad that M4A2 reminded me because I even told them on Saturday that I would share the pictures.
The person that reminded you just said, "Look at the comment, sir."
Oh. I'll be there Thursday evening, but runner-up prize will be there before as I'm shipping the mic. Oh, cool.
But yeah, definitely show that bad boy off because that thing is cool.
Yes, it is. Oh, here, this is the perfect picture. Let me find a question for you guys to answer while I get it. I'm trying to find a question. They're not questions. They're all comments. You guys talk about, so why is silver down, guys? Have at it. All right, let me do this.
Why is silver down? I think it's getting back to its normal situation now that all the craziness has worn off a little bit.
Yeah, and I said a little while ago when I was on with Mike and them, somebody said, well, it's at 26. It's a trend. It's going to go up to 30 or so. And I said, no, it's going to go back down. Like Rob said, it's settling down. But here's the thing, that silver raid thing is going to do something strange. I don't think it's going to increase the spot price. I think it's just going to mess with the premiums, to be honest.
Yep. All right, here it is. Let me hide the comment. Why is it not going full screen? What the heck?
That thing is really cool. For those of you who don't know, that little coin in the middle is actually gold. So you have gold and silver together.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not like expanding all the way, but it is what it is. But yeah, so take a look at that, guys. That is being given away at the coin show from M4A2 Master. How cool is that?
So cool.
Yeah, that thing's epic.
Agreed.
Everyone's that's going to be a happy camper.
M4A2 Master, guys. By the way, give it up to M4A2 Master for putting that together. How awesome is that?
Sticker, did you have a side of the stamping of the Mid America Coins stamp that he put on there?
Let me look. Here's a question. While I'm doing that,
you know what? We've talked. We had that question come up one or two of these ago, and we have talked about it. But our schedules, we already do our own programs on different nights because of our busy schedules and our respect for one another. So if we did that, we'd have to actually take one of our individual shows away in order to do that, or do it on a Monday like this in lieu of this, which I guess that's up to Seeker and Raven if we wanted to do something like that. Look how cool that stamping is. That
is very cool, man.
That is so cool.
That's something, if you win, keep it in your deep stack.
Deep stack.
If I won it, I'd hold on to it. That's for sure.
And it says Grove just like that on the bottom of the bar.
If I win it, Raven, I'm giving it away.
Nice. Well, you know what?
That's how certain I'm not going to win it, though, because I can say that because I'm not going to win. If I win the lottery, I'll split it with Raven.
There you go. Hey, but if I don't win it, it's rigged.
Yeah, it's rigged.
So
Kyle Harden asked a great question. He says, have you ever seen anyone try to buy at one table and sell at another like they did back in the day at coin shows? Kyle, I'll tell you this. If I don't see that happen at least once at a coin show, it's not a coin show. Like
I have literally been with dealers that I'm friends with that will walk me over to what I'm looking for and say, get that. It's also a VAM 22A. And so then I'll buy it. That way I get it. And then if there's a couple of the places that have it, they'll walk me over and cherry pick other people's tables, come back to me, and then be like, let's make a deal on this. You saw what I paid for it. How much you want to buy it for?
Yep.
Rigged.
All right, guys, we have a $5 super chat from G Brown. He says, I have $2,000 and $half and a mixture of silver dollars and $2 bills. How can I make money off of that? Well, if they're silver, you can sell them. That's how you would make money off of it. Take them into not just one, but a couple of local coin shops and get some appraisals and go from there. Don't trust the first guy you go to, though. Always shop around at least 2 opinions, if not more, if you can, depending on where you are. That is how you make money on that for sure.
I would go to at least 3. That's kind of my thing. I go to 3 or call the 3 that I know and see who's paying what. And sometimes it's worth it to go to the one guy that you deal with the most, because if you give him a decent deal, he'll remember you down the road.
Right.
And as far as the $2 bills go online and do some research. I mean, eBay is supply and demand, and everyone loves it, but you can see what stuff's market selling for. And if you have similar type $2 bills, you probably can see how they're listing them, and then maybe just list theirs similarly if they're the same. You'll make a lot more money on eBay, even selling with their fees on the $2 bills, because most places won't touch them unless they're older $2 bills in pretty nice shape.
Right.
Whatever.
What?
Link asked for a whatever.
Oh, gotcha.
Do you have the same one, Rob?
I have a couple of them. I have this one. And then I have the hype. And that's annoying. I'm sorry.
Whatever.
I love this one.
That's just ridiculous.
This one.
Seeker, you have the one that says on?
On.
I just kidding.
This one was actually a gift. No, this one was. Oh
no!
Somebody's got their.
This one was. Why do I hear myself? What is happening? Oh, this one was actually a gift from a subscriber of mine who has since passed away, unfortunately. So that was from Silvernut. I don't know if you guys remember Robert Gra.
Robert
Gray.
Yeah, I remember Robert.
Yeah, he passed away, I guess, about 6 months ago now, but this came from him, so I still have it for sure. I hit it every once in a while.
He's an interesting gentleman. May he rest in peace.
Yes, sir.
May he rest in peace. He was a really good guy. The most interesting thing I ever got from Robert was a text message with a picture of him without a shirt on, sitting in a hot tub. I'm like, oh, what the heck did I just get?
That was a 3 a.m. text, Seeker.
Yeah, one of those drunken moments. He's like,
yeah, are you still up?
I just love the way your hair turns green and your lips get red.
Fireside Coin says, when are you guys going to do a box battle? $50 would be cool. That would be cool.
You know what? We could actually, now that we have to just make sure that Raven and Seeker get some $50.
I can get $50.
It's been a rough go for me for $50.
Rob, I know how Raven can get a box of $50. You can bring it to him at the show.
I could bring him a couple boxes of $50 at face value. I don't mind. I definitely would, and they wouldn't be uncirculated. So if you got something cool.
Yeah.
Nice. That'd be awesome, brother.
Yeah,
let's try
and plan for that.
Offline, Raven, if you want some, text me and I'll bring whatever you ask for. But I would want the cash for it as well.
No, man, you gotta give me that for free, dog. Come on now.
Listen, Rob will accept straight up coin for coin, but the coins you give him have to be silver.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
You give me 1,000 face and halves, I'll give you 1,000 in clad. So
yeah.
Oh, bro, you're giving me a heck of a deal.
Yeah.
We sign up for that every day.
Listen. When you get deals like that, you know you got a bro. What are the best coins, bullion, to stack during market dips? Easy question. The stuff you can get the cheapest. Generally, that's going to be generic silver. But every once in a while, you'll find, it's a true story. Every once in a while, you can find things like Philharmonics, Cougs, things like that. For around the same price as you can get generics for. And if you can get like premium silver, especially if it's not spotted, scratched, or dinged or anything, for 25 to 50 cents more than a round, I'd always take that instead, because the premium increase on that will cover 25 to 50 cents, no problem down the line.
Yeah, my silver dealer actually sold me a whole tube of Canadian maples because they weren't trash. That makes them sound bad. But they had a lot of imperfections. Somebody had basically dumped them in a bag and probably kept them in a Ziploc bag in their safe, and they had tumbled around for years. And so he basically gave them to me at generic silver price, and I was like, I'll take them.
Yeah, absolutely. Trump says silver at 1 times face and 1 times face only.
I was talking to one of the old timer guys, and he's like, I remember when it was only 3-4 times face. And I was like, yeah, that was like 10 years old, maybe.
Let's see. We had, I tell you what, I have some silver dollars that I'm going to do a video on soon. They're in 2x2s. And I'm talking like piece dollars, common date Morgans, and they have the price written on them. And like, I have a piece dollar that was being retailed for $1.80.
Wow.
Yeah, it's still in the original 2x2. You can tell it's like an old dingy 2x2, and the writing's been on there forever as well.
This coin right here is one of those straights dollars. It has a $5 mark on it from whenever it was originally put in its holder, and these things go for like 130 all day long.
France, I did not see that picture. If you want to send that to me, I'll take a look at it for sure. France picked up one of the breast cancer commemoratives for my stream about a week and a couple days ago for his wife, who is fighting breast cancer right now. So
hope she beats it.
Yeah, for sure, man. More power to her.
Yes, sir.
Cancer sucks. It's taken way too many people from me. It's horrible.
Yep.
Charles Roof says, what makes the 1892 Morgan so rare or high? Well, they're all key dates. I think the 1892P you can get pretty cheap if it's in heavily circulated grade, but the 92cc, the 92 O and S, are a little bit harder to get. So, Rob?
No, I was going to say, well, you just look at the mintages first and foremost. None of them are. Maybe the P is like 2.2 million or 2.1, but they're all like around that million range. And at the end of the day, they're not so much. They're affordable in VF or less, but once you start hitting XF, AU, MS, they're outside of my scope. So, or at least not ones I go realistically thinking I can go stack or find.
Right. Yeah.
But I can find them. I can see them in VF or fine all day if I want to just spend 100 here or 250 there or 300 sometimes, and I can find them, but not in the grades that make the collection look nice.
Right. What coins have the most fluctuation in premium? Eagles.
Yeah, ASCs, baby.
Yeah. The all day. The U.S. Mint can absolutely, make the price of Eagles go up and down just on a whim. I had now Mike from Mid America Coins told me otherwise, but I had a coin dealer that I called in one of my coin dealer call videos where he told me that the mint can't legally buy silver for more than spot, so they can't get silver because of the premiums right now, which is why Eagles aren't being minted very quickly out of the U.S. Mint, which is what's causing the premiums to be so high. I don't know how accurate that is. Mike said it's not accurate. I don't know who's right, who's wrong, but yeah, that's a thing.
Canadian or CAD Roll Hunter says, what do we think about stacking Canadian 8% silver? And we've talked about it before. Most places will actually sell it at spot. So
yeah,
if you can get it at spot, then why not stack it? That being said, I don't stack 80% silver for long term. I stack it if I can get it at spot to trade it in for something that's more stackable personally. But I always go through it first to make sure I don't need it for my collection. So
this one right here, Conrad has a very good question. He says, what is the best resource to use to learn how to be better at determining grade? I used to always have a book that I recommend, but no longer do I recommend that book because there is a free, fantastic, amazing resource called PCGS Photo Grade.
Yep.
You literally can't beat it. It's 100% free. You don't need to get a book. You just can't beat it. It's so good.
There's a lot of dealers that use it as well. So if you wonder where they're getting their grades from, a lot of them are using that same site. I highly recommend it. I know Rob recommends it as well.
It's so great that it's almost, there's nothing else better to use other than keep in mind a lot of problems that new collectors make is they can't determine if a coin's been cleaned. They can't determine if a coin is historically known for a weak strike. Some Morgans had a weak reverse strike, for example.
Yeah, the New Orleans.
Or a weak obverse strike. And so sometimes they use a picture and go, oh, well, the Eagle's breast does have some wear. No, it might just be a weak strike. So keep that in mind. Right. But typically it's going to put you within a few grades if you use it properly.
That happened to me on an auction the other day. I had an MS63 PCGS and I was like, man, the reverse just looks bad, And Brian Hooper brought it up and reminded me, he said, remember, there's a number of New Orleans minted Morgans.
19020 is one of the most famous reverses where you're like, dude, that's AU at best, but that's how they were struck on the breast feathers of the Eagle. So you got it. There are some nuances, but typically all you would be doing is grading it less than it would be if you know the nuances, if you do it right. Now, I'm not a professional grader, and I have been wrong because I miss cleaning. So it's not always 100% science. And someone told me that PCGS now can use some kind of technology that can even detect the slightest bit of cleaning that the human eye couldn't detect before. I don't know if that's true or not, but someone told me that.
Neophyte Stacker Rex, a very good question. He says, does the 9 authorized purchasers to the U.S. Mint have influence or control on the premium silver seeker? So two-part answer to this. Yes and no. Yes, because there's only 9 authorized purchasers, clearly they can determine what the premium that they want to sell it at is. But No, because the U.S. Mint really has the most control, and the reason for that is supply and demand. So if the U.S. Mint has an ample supply of Silver Eagles that the authorized purchasers can buy as many as they want at any time that they want them, then they're going to fight over who has the lowest price, because they'd rather just sell them and buy more and sell them and buy more and turn their profit rather than sit on overpriced Eagles. So the U.S. Mint definitely controls that price more than basically anybody. Just because, again, like if let's say Upstate's at 12 over and Atmex is like, oh, well, I'll sell them for 11 over because I'll sell them quicker at 11 and I can just rebuy them back because the U.S. Mint has them, right? So then Upstate's gonna be like, oh, well, I'll beat them at 10.50, and that's supply and demand. That's how it goes. But when the U.S. Mint doesn't have them to sell, then all of them are like, yeah, I'm going to make mine 13. I don't care if Atmex is at 12 because they're going to sell out soon, and then they'll have to come to me and buy them at 13. Yep. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yes and no. Yes and no is the easiest way to answer that one.
Hey,
do you have any interjection there with Robert Raven with that one?
Nope.
No, you hit it on the. You nailed it. Trump 2020 has a good question. If you see it there, Seeker.
I will, but let me get this one, and then I'll get to it. As I remember, the 1895S proof. So the 1895S wasn't a proof. The 1895 Philly is a proof. And I do believe it's Rob. Do you know the mintage on that?
The 1895S non-proof is 400,000. The 1895 proof is only 880 originally struck. So if you think about surviving, well, I would have a hard time believing many of them didn't survive when they only minted 880. But 880 is ridiculous for the 1895 proof. But 400,000 on the 89 are the 95S.
Right. If you cannot tell if it's cleaned, why is it pessary? I don't know
per
that
se.
word.
He's trying to say per se.
Oh, why is it per se to call it clean? What do you, Raven, have at that one?
So, that one has been something that's been bothering me for a while, and I know Seeker's brought it up before, and NGC has driven me nuts because I've had some coins that I sent in, some really nice Indian head cents. Dealers looked at them. I've had them for a long, long time. I finally pulled the trigger, sent them in to get them graded, and they came back cleaned because they were monster tone, beautiful. Yet I've taken them to other dealers. I said, "Hey, look at this." They're like, "Doesn't look clean to me." I said, "Exactly. So how is it happening that way?" I honestly think they're giving way too much power when they do that to your coin. They're literally ruining the value. If you get a bad grader. Is how I see it.
I cannot. That's the one thing about coin grading I think is so bad. If something has questionable color, for example, I don't care. If you can't prove that it has been altered in any way, then you have to take it for what it is. And if you can't tell me in verbatim with an insert in my submission return that tells me how you deemed exactly that this coin was cleaned, then as far as I'm concerned, you're guessing. And you can't be guessing when I'm paying 25, 30, 50, if there's a variety designation on something. You can't just quickly give it to some rookie grader and have them say, yeah, it looks clean to me. Let's move on to the next one. Can't do that. I'm paying for the service. I expect some information.
So I'll tell you something about specifically this that's really unfortunate because it's something I wanted to cover a long time ago. There are absolutely, and I'm sure there are plenty of them. Obviously, there's no way to know how many, but I guarantee you they exist. Coins that have been cleaned that aren't marked clean either. Yep. And what really sucks is, for example, with PCGS, when you sign the form to submit the coins, one of the things that you're agreeing to in their contract is that you are not knowingly submitting clean coins. So specifically, if you ever read over the whole legal thing, I never signed anything without at least glancing at everything. Like I may not read every single word, but I'll kind of read the paragraph and see if it's something I want to dig further into. But with PCGS specifically, it says that you cannot knowingly submit coins that have been doctored. And if you do, and so for example, let's say I made a video where I took some Morgans and I dipped them and then submitted them to PCGS to see if they would come back as cleaned or not, they could literally sue me for damages because I signed the contract saying that I would not submit cleaned coins. So that is a video I would absolutely love to be able to do, but unfortunately I can't because I don't have the kind of money to pay PCGS.
Yeah.
But you can't submit without signing that contract, and that's part of what you're signing, unfortunately. So, but I guarantee you they exist.
And the other unfortunate thing is some of the highest populated photo grade coins on their site were obviously graded years ago because they're not even as good as the secondary, thirdary coins, and they're not even as nice as some of the coins you actually submit that get a good grade. And they need to update that and show truly what the top pop coins should look like, not ones that they graded from some rookie kid at the bench that just happened to push it through. Although I have a question, Seeker, and it's not something I know the answer to. Maybe you can help answer. If a coin is going to get top pop when it goes into QA and certification, and it's going to get top pop, that's got to hit more hands and eyes than anything else, I would imagine. Especially for keys, yeah. Like, not even keys, but just older coins in general, yeah. I don't know if they're necessarily, like, if you sent in, you know, a roll of 2021 Kennedys, I don't know if necessarily they're going to look at one that might end up being top pop very closely. I didn't mean that. Yeah. You're right. I don't mean any top pop, but let's say there's never been there hasn't been a 1995 MS70 straight from the mint, even 1995 Denver minted MS70 regular Lincoln cent. There's not been one graded. And yours all of a sudden looks like it's going to get that. I wonder how many eyes. It's not a key date, but it's a top pop and solo. I wonder how many eyes would look at it before they actually said, "Yep, let's give them that." Guys, I'm going to try and find one more question because MC Silverwolf says, "Answer my question, Silver Seeker," and I can't find it. But it is 8:00, so we're going to cut this off. Oh, here we go. MC Silverwolf says, "Would it be a good time to sell junk silver since the premium's so high? I bought it at 14's face." So I can't tell you, like, and I think Rob and Raven are going to agree with us. I can't tell you if it's a good time for you to sell or not. There's individual situations that would cause you to want to sell and maybe not want to sell. If you don't really need, like, if it were me, I wouldn't sell unless I needed the money for something. But you know, I mean, unfortunately, I can't comment on specific situations for different people. I don't like to tell people when it's a good time to buy or sell. The only thing I really tell people is, you know, I stack for what I consider to be the legitimate reason of hedging against inflation. I don't stack because I hope silver is going to be $50 an ounce tomorrow. I stack because I'm worried that the $100 bill is going to be worth $50 tomorrow. Yeah. So, but as far as, you know, should you sell or not, that's up to you, unfortunately. I'm sorry, man. I can't answer that one. Yeah, I'm right there with Seeger. It's a personal choice. It's your situation, you know, because here's the thing. It's going to be a long time if you'll ever be able to get it for 14 times face again. You know, so that's something you have to consider. But from literally telling you, hey, it's time to sell, no, because then you're now taking on a responsibility that really isn't yours to determine. Yeah. And I'm going to cover one more that I can't pop up here because it was originally hidden by YouTube, but I'll just read it. And then we are going to go. So M4A2, and this is just a comment. I already knew this, but for anyone that doesn't know, M4A2 Master just wanted to point out that the authorized purchasers are charged the LBMA silver price of $235 per coin, premium minimum ordering requirement of 25,000 ounces. That is correct, but that doesn't change what I said earlier about the fact that if the U.S. Mint doesn't have enough of them to cover supply, then that's when you see the wholesalers jack the premiums up sky high. If they had ample supply, the wholesalers would start to bring the premium down because they'd be fighting with each other to see who sells them first. So we are going to call it there. If you had a question that we missed tonight, I don't think we missed many, but we may have. I do want to bring it up because he's been on all of our channels a lot. Matt Poe did ask a few times. Okay. What is everyone's favorite premium silver round? And he's asked like 6 times, and he's been around for a while, so I figured we all could just quickly run over that. Yeah, I just scrolled up and found it to pop it up on the screen for him. Matt Poe, sorry about that. And by the way, guys, Matt Poe is a channel member as well, so I promise you I wasn't ignoring it. I just, like I said, I missed a lot of questions. So yeah, no, and I saw it a few times. I figured we'd get to it, and then it was 8:00, so I didn't want to miss it. My favorite premium silver round right now, probably Brits or Maples. I mean, just because the premiums aren't sky high and they're still beautiful coins. I would love to say Silver Eagles, but the premiums are so high in them that I just can't. What about Libertads? You don't consider those premium rounds? Libertads are absolutely gorgeous, but it's. I mean, I just right now,
it would have to be those, just because the premiums aren't too bad.
Mine's
I mean, if you wanted me to pick out absolutely ridiculous, silver coins, I have a ton of them I can show you that I love, but
mine's Brits.
Yeah,
I just love them.
Yeah,
that's what I've been buying those a lot lately for my personal self. I like those.
What about you, Raven?
The 2022 Brits have that nice little trident right now too. Mm-hmm. Actually, mine's one that's different, and I can only get them once in a while. It's the Australian Brumbies. They're a beautiful, beautiful coin, simple with a horse across it. I mean, they're just a very gorgeous premium round. So that's my honest answer. Earlier, I made a little joke about the Batman one that Rich Fontaine gave me, but in my honest opinion, the Brumbies are gorgeous, and they're just going to go up in price. They're pretty high up there right now as it is.
My favorite premium round is my 2.5 ounce poured Raven relic.
The Raven relic was awesome. You know what, Raven, though? I wish I got into another series because I enjoyed the Zombucks and the Silver Shield stuff.
Yeah,
and I need to get into another series again.
Yeah, it would be nice. You know what stopped me from some of the series stuff is when Provident Metals took away PayPal.
Yes.
It was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And so I got lucky that I got my hands on a Zombuck collection and the Dragons collection.
But I did the Dragons, I did the Zombucks, I did the Silver Shield one as well. I thought that was cool. So I was playing with all three of those when they were out.
Yep, same here. I did them all. I still have them all. I love them. I have them in those sheets I've shown where the pandas used to come in. That's where I put my collections. I love those things. They're amazing.
I bought those old Dansko just U.S. Silver Rounds books, and I made those. I filled those up.
Nice,
awesome. Well, guys, listen. It's 6 past. We're going to cut it here. The next time you see us, it will be after the Grove, Oklahoma Coin Show. If you're not going to be there, there will be tons of content all over YouTube, including from us three, I'm sure. So you will not miss out in spirit, even if you aren't there. But if you are going to be there, we look forward to meeting you, and just having a good time. It's going to be a great show. And for the first time ever, I get to meet Ravenhawk Coin, so I can't get mad about that.
I'm not going to lie. I like Seeker, and it was fun meeting him, and it was more fun talking to him in person than on phones and stuff. But I am Raven. I'm not going to lie, man. It's going to be like a little bromance, but not in a weird way. I'm not going to lie.
I'll take love. Listen, if you guys allow me to come into the room and take photos, we're good. All right. All right, so I'm gonna let it go. Rob, go ahead and say your piece, man. Let's get out of here.
You know what? I'm sorry we missed a lot of questions. There's so many good questions. Just remember, don't be stressed about it. Do it next time on the next stream. We'll try to answer as many as possible. And I'm always enjoying hanging out with all of you guys in the community, as well as my brothers, Seeker and Raven.
All right, Raven, take us out, man.
These shows go by so fast, and I have so much fun when we do these together because we got a great crowd that asks a lot of awesome questions. You can tell there's a lot of thought put into a lot of them. And, from the three of us, we appreciate you guys like you don't understand. We can't wait to see you at Grove. Somebody asked me to do this, so I'm going to throw out a live Suzuki real quick. Suzuki! There you go.
Do it again. I muted you for funniness.
He did. He muted you, Raven.
You suck.
All right, go ahead. Do it.
All right. Suzuki.
All right, guys. I look forward to seeing you at the show. And if not, we look forward to having videos and comments from you guys. It's going to be a blast. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you here again in 2 weeks on Rob's channel. So make sure you go over there and subscribe so you don't miss it. Click the bell so you get the notifications. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you in the next one. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Oh, I almost left studio. There we go.